This is the Lee Gardens area of Hat Yai, and what you may have noticed compared to my previous videos is that it's dark, and it's quite unusual for me to be out after dark. The reason for that for the last 12 years is that I've had young kids, but even before then I was never really interested in going out at night. I'd always much prefer to get up early, go for a day trip somewhere and then have an early night. And even when I was back in the UK and my friends used to go to nightclubs, I'd go along, but I was never particularly interested and used to fall asleep. This is sunny Thhamnoonwithee Road just in front of Lee Gardens, and it's really nice to see that it's being closed off to traffic. They should have done this years ago. There's nothing worse when you're trying to walk around at night and you keep having to avoid crazy motorbikes and cars. There's just a few municipality vehicles, you know, collecting garbage, but there's no through traffic, which is really nice. Not too many people around, a few restaurants open and food vendors. Nothing like the old days, but there are signs of life.
Good morning.
Oh,
Good afternoon.
สวัสดีครับ ถ่ายรูปได้ไหมครับ
สวัสดีครับผมเป็นสมาชิกสภาเทศบาลนครหัดใหญ่
เป็นสมาชิก โอเค
สมาชิกสภาเทศบาลนครใหญ่
โอเคครับ
ก็ตอนนี้ถวายพระพรพระราชินี
วันนี้วันเกิดใช่ไหมครับ
เป็นวันเกิดของเดอะฟิน
ใช่
ฟินไทยแลนด์
โอเค
ฟินไทยแลนด์เบิร์ธเดย์ฟินไทยแลนด์
ใช่
โอเค
โอเค ยินดีที่ได้รู้จักครับ
ครับผม
สวัสดีครับ Yeah, it's been a holiday today, and the guy was just telling me that it's the Queen's birthday, so there's a bit of a celebration in Thailand today. Yeah, very few people, but I'd say better than absolutely nothing. And another reason that I don't tend to go out at night is that these days we live quite a way out from the town centre, out near the airport, so I have to drive. And the driving, well, it's difficult to describe. In the daytime it's just lawless. In the night time it tends to be anarchic. Kids racing around on motorbikes, many vehicles without lights, and it's just absolutely crazy. No one obeys traffic laws or stop signals. And I've been driving for 44 years, but I still see things on Thai roads that terrify me. It was quite pleasant with all the lights. Obviously the local municipality has made some kind of an effort to make it look attractive, and they've done a pretty good job, especially by closing off this road. There must have been some kind of an event today in the daytime, and now they're just putting all the stuff away. Big picture of the Queen, and it says Song Prat Jaran, long live the King. I've been in Hat Yai for 19 years. The first 7 of those years I was a single man. And when I used to walk around, there was this funny little lady that I'd see often. And she saw me like a four-man single and wanted to know if I wanted a lady, and you know, she could help. Anyway, I've just run into her again. I haven't seen her for years, and I've just seen her, so I had a quick chat, and her first question was, do you want a lady? No thanks. But if I did, then she can find one for me. I asked her where, and she wouldn't tell me. She just said me, like, you know, have, there are. And the reason for that is that if I want one, she wants to make sure that she gets her commission. And she tells me that there's girls from all over southern Thailand, very beautiful, and that her commission is only 100 baht. So I've mentioned a few times before in my videos about the sort of commercial sex scene in Hat Yai, how it used to be very conspicuous. There were places everywhere, and it was obvious what they were, and everyone knew about them. And then they all disappeared a few years ago. Well, it's obviously it's gone underground. It still exists, it will never go away, and if you talk to the right people, it's easy to find, and she's one of the people that can introduce you to what you want. And I'm sure the bellboys and the men working in hotels can also help you. There are a few massage shops open, and although they've been very quiet when I've seen them in the daytime, they have some customers in the evening. So it's not as bad as I thought it might be in the evening. It's not good, but there are definitely signs of life. Here's the famous post Laserdisc. Back in the old days, people used to rely on Lonely Planet when they came for trips to Southeast Asia. Nowadays it's all done through the internet and social media and forums, but certainly when I first came to Thailand in 1987, everyone relied on the backpackers Bible, the yellow Bible. That was the what was it called? Southeast Asia on a shoestring. And Lonely Planet had a bit of a write-up about Hat Yai, and they recommended the post Laserdisc, and that place used to be packed. But nowadays it's always pretty quiet, and they don't do as much food either. So what is nightlife? What's your definition of nightlife? It could be just activity that happens after dark. And I can guarantee you that if you go to Greenway Market now, or the night bazaar, those places will be absolutely packed, mostly with locals. Or it is, hello, oh, ไม่มีเวลาครับไม่ขอโทษเอามีอาจจะถ้ามีเวลาจะมาเป็นคนที่ไหนครับเป็นคนพม่าค่ะพม่าจริงเหรอพูดไม่มีบัตรประชาชนเลยอ๋อจริงเหรอตำรวจอย่าเรียกตำรวจมาโอเคพูดภาษาไทยเก่งเรียนค่ะเรียนโอเคพี่ก็พูดภาษาไทยเก่งเหมือนกันไม่มีใครเข้าใจใช่ไหมพี่เป็นคนที่ไหนมาจากไหนคะโอ้คนอังกฤษครับคนทุกที่อังกฤษไม่ใช่ทุกที่ทีเดียวโอเคบายบาย So there's some massage girls from, the one I was speaking to is from Burma. Over there looks like they've actually got some bar girls in a bar. I didn't realise that Hat Yai had bar girls, but I've just seen two. Is your definition of nightlife in Thailand, is it just a euphemism for prostitution? Because a lot of people, when they say nightlife and talking about Thailand, it's just prostitution. And a lot of that has gone from Hat Yai, but it's still underground, but it's not as it was. Or is nightlife, you know, bars and clubs? And it's the bars and clubs I'm planning to take a look around tonight. And just opposite is the Swan, which is another well-known Hat Yai pub. The owner works in England for a while, speaks good English, and their Western food is pretty good. This is Thamnoonwithee Road, and it's the main strip in Hat Yai for bars and pubs. It runs from the train station all the way out to the university. And at this end, which is closer to the train station, this is where the sort of Farang bars were. When there used to be a lot of Farangs in Hat Yai, they came to bars around here. The two we've just seen, the Post Laserdisc and the Swan, and the one just up here that's closed now, the West Side Saloon. And if you go further out towards the university, you come to all the bars and pubs where the locals drink. So what I think I'll do, I'll jump back in the car and go further out and take a look around that area. Here's the Post Laserdisc again. And one thing I was going to mention in this video is that when you go to places like Pattaya and Patong in Phuket and Samui, and you go to the bar areas, there's a row of stalls outside, and there's bar girls sitting on the stalls trying to entice customers in. And you never see that in Hat Yai. Well, I've never seen it, but I just walked past a place called the Lion Bar, and there's two bar girls outside. So I guess it's because I haven't been out at night for so many years. I'm just out of touch. So it does appear that there are at least two bar girls in Hat Yai. This is the Santisuk market area, one of Hat Yai's well-known traditional markets. Not many lights on. It looks like most shops are closed. Very, very quiet, and it's only just after 8 o'clock. I've just spoken to a very pleasant group of Malaysians, quite a lot of them. I've met so many nice Malaysians and Singaporeans in Hat Yai since I've been here. Nice people. Had a bit of a chat. They're here for 4 days. Obviously got their Thailand pass. They said it wasn't much hassle. They only paid about 30 ringgits on average. I think it was different for children, but the average was about 30 ringgits, which is not too bad. And the exchange rate they're getting at the moment is about 7.7 baht to the ringgit, which is really low. You know, when I first got here, it was around 10. So that was a look around the central tourist district of Hat Yai at night. Not wildly exciting, but not completely dead. So what I'm going to do now is jump back into my high performance supercar, go a bit further along Thamnoonwithee Road to the area where Thais entertain themselves at night, and see what's happening there. It's a holiday today, it's a Friday, tomorrow's Saturday, so it should be fairly busy, but let's take a look. So this is the area where the young local Thais hang out, and a long time ago when I was a bit more sort of au fait with this aspect of Hat Yai, the older guys used to go to these sort of farang pubs to get drunk, and some of the younger guys will come here to try and hit on the local girls. There are some music pubs. I can hear some music in the background. This place here with the big guitar is called the Cannon Rock Club. It's a free entrance charge, but I would imagine to make up for that, the drinks are quite expensive. They've got some good looking girls waiting at the door. There was a conversation going on as to whether I could go in and do a video, and it was taking a long time discussing it with the manager, so I just in the end I just said don't worry. And in the comments, please don't ask me anything about these places, what they're like or what I recommend. I just don't know. I am totally unfamiliar with this aspect of Hat Yai. This place looks very nice. It's called Mirinda. It's set back from the road a little bit, and it's sort of inside, but it's all open, so there's no air conditioning, it's just fans. You got a little bit of a breeze blowing through. With a live band, looks pretty good. I've seen quite a few live bands in Thailand over the years, and they tend to play mostly covers. There's not a lot of original material, but they're quite talented, and they play their instruments and sing very well. There's food here as well. Yeah, nice place. This area is quite a long way out from the town centre. I didn't check to see how many kilometres it is, but it's more than a comfortable walk. And I don't mind walking long distances, but this really is a bit too far. So if you haven't got your own transport, and it's probably advisable not to have your own transport, if you're going to have a drink, you'll need to get a tuk-tuk or a motorbike taxi. The thing about Thailand is that it changes incredibly quickly, to the point where you just can't recognise anything. I went to Pattaya in '87, had a great time. I went back in '92, not only didn't I have a great time, but I just didn't recognise anything. And it's the same here. Now, I think this is where Gapsgarten used to be. It was a German restaurant that was run by a German guy that was here, Jan. His wife was Gap, hence the name. It was a really nice place, but things didn't work out, and in the end he went back to Germany. and before he had it, it was a pretty lively music bar. I worked at Hat Yai Technical College for a while, and it was very popular with the students there. So I think this was where Gap's Garden was, but to be honest, I just don't recognise it. This is also the area where Chaophaya 2 used to be. When I first got to Hat Yai, there must have been at least a half a dozen big soapy massage places, and Chaophaya 2 was the premier place. It was the most expensive, the plushest, had the best looking girls, and there were always a lot of customers there. And I drove past, must have been, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and it wasn't there anymore. And I was amazed because it must have brought in a lot of money, and I can only guess that someone pretty high up in Hat Yai decided that they no longer wanted that type of thing in Hat Yai, and Chaophaya 2 went, as did all the other places. That was a quick look around Hat Yai at night, and as I described earlier in the video, because I'm not a night person, I'm really not the best person to do it, but it should at least have given you some idea of where things are, what's available, and how things are at the moment, you know, just as sort of we're coming out of COVID. So thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. If you have any comments, questions or other feedback, please leave them below, and there'll be more videos soon.